Oh, if it's a selfie cam, I'm doing a teaser for what's coming up. This is going to be an interview with Ryan Hare, a Google employee, former student of mine. I actually interviewed Ryan on Google campus. I told you I did some of these interviews. Here's one of them. Learn about how to become Google worthy. Even if your goal isn't Google, all the Silicon Valley level type of companies, awesome big companies you want to work on, there's elements of all this at those companies. So learn, enjoy. And by the way, I lost the audio recording. My audio recording software died while I was doing this interview. So you're getting raw camera audio. I'm sorry about that. Put some headphones on. It's not that bad. There's cars in the background. Sorry about that. Listen, learn, love it. Ryan Hare, student of mine, graduated. I don't remember what year.
Do I remember?
Speak loud. We got a mic.
Oh,
look at the mic
2010,
here.
2010, I believe.
2010?
No, 11. Beginning of 11. That's it.
2011, Newmont University.
Yep.
We're on Google campus, by the way. I don't know. Okay, tell me your Google story.
My story. So is Aaron Pace, of course.
Speak to everybody in YouTube land. Aaron Pace.
In YouTube land.
Aaron Pace, who denied me. I wanted to interview him. He's like, I'm gonna let it sound too stupid on camera. I don't want to get on camera. Fine. Whatever. Okay, Aaron Pace called you, or?
So Aaron Pace. So a while back, Aaron Pace contacted me with his previous job, seeing if I wanted to interview, and I did, and they ended up giving me an offer, and I rejected it.
Nice.
And then a few months later, ended up at Google, and that's when he said
he ended up at Google.
He did, yes.
Okay.
He sent me an email, and the title was "How about Google?" I'm like, I hope this isn't what I do, but that kind of trepidation. So I open it up, and he's talking. He's at Google now, so he wanted to see if I wanted to interview. And at the time, my job sucked.
You didn't like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it, but I was off site for a while, and it was no fun. So I thought, why not? It's Google. Should at least interview, find out what happens, right? So I went through the process, the slightly laborious process.
You turn the resume in.
Yep.
Tech interview on the phone.
Yeah.
Fly out. They grill you for a whole day with a bunch of tech interviews.
And if you survive that, you fly back home. Yeah.
If you die, they throw you in the back of the building
exactly,
or something. Okay, all right.
They have it all covered.
You survived.
I survived.
All right.
I can't remember how long it was later. Maybe a week or so. They contacted me and say, "Congratulations, we want to offer you a job." And I did not expect that at all. Of course. Yeah, it's crazy. And I ended up turning it down.
Okay, so everyone at YouTube land is going to be like, you got a job, offer it. I said, okay, so explain, please.
So me and my wife thought long and hard about it. Spent a lot of time thinking about if it was the right move for us. And at the time, I finally ended up where I wanted to be. As far as a job
you
goes.
got a different job from
I
the one
actually
you
got the
hated.
same job, but I no longer had to be off-site. They guaranteed me that.
Okay.
I loved my job. I loved where we lived, and moving kind of didn't sound...
You were in Salt Lake.
I was in, Salt Lake area.
All right.
So we drug it out for a little while, but I finally said, you know what, it's not the time for us to move. So
okay,
we
turned them down.
Turned them down.
All right.
They were kind of like, what? So
people don't reject us? That
not too often.
Yeah.
It does happen, but not too often.
Yeah. Well, what are you talking about? You're not going to come work at... I can see.
So it turns out they have a group at Google that deals with people who've turned down jobs at Google to try to see if they'll change their mind. That's who contacted me a few months later. So.
Oh. So.
Whether there's a group or not, it was this. I don't know if there's a group or it's just a specific program they were running.
So let me just sidetrack a little bit. Once Google has determined they want you, then basically it's in their interest to get you here.
Yeah, they spent all the time to interview you, to get you through the process. And then I don't know how long it is, but you have a certain amount of time that they can still offer you the job without having to go through all the interviews again.
Okay.
And so whatever that amount of time is, they wanted me back in. So they called me. We ended up moving to we ended up moving to kind of our dream house.
In Salt Lake.
And so Saratoga Springs, it's south of.
It's Salt Lake area,
yeah,
Utah, not California.
Yes, not
Okay.
California.
You got the dream house.
Yes, got the dream house near the lake, beautiful. And my job died. we finally went under. It had been kind of struggling on for a while.
So they laid everyone off.
Laid
the
everyone
whole
off.
company collapsed.
Well, yeah. So there's two companies side by side, and our piece fell apart.
So you need a job.
Need a job.
And-
I started
and
interviewing all over. Yeah, Google wasn't really an option because I didn't really think about it as an option. And so I interviewed for places where I was at I had work for like a couple months, and I was kind of getting a little worried. And Google calls me up again. If you can decide that you want to be here in the next 24 hours.
Really? They said come here in 24 hours?
Well, not come here, but if you can.
We'll give you 20.
If you can accept the job offer, we can give you 24 hours and offer you the job again.
Give the cars in the background.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Yeah. So it was either 24 or 48 hours. I can't remember. It was really short.
So were they trying to press you into something, or were they just under the gun to fill the?
I thought they were under the gun. I think it was more they just wanted to seal the deal quickly.
Okay, all right. Let's get this guy.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'm like, okay. So I thought about it. I needed a job, right? It was Google, and for some reason this time it felt like what we were supposed to do. So we moved. That was my.
And that was about a year ago?
Yeah, I've been here for a year and a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interview process, a lot of algorithms.
Yeah.
Tons of that. I hear that over and over.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So, without breaking any NDAs or anything like that, tell me what are you enjoying about being here?
Yeah. The life, I think that a lot of us at Google kind of end up taking off for granted. We get free food pretty much all the time.
That'd be bad for me.
Yeah, it's
I'd
bad
probably
for me.
I'd probably die in about 2 years.
Yeah, I'm heading that way.
Are you? Okay. Well, no, don't do that. We don't. Okay.
Yeah. So, the life, the culture. I'm interacting with really smart people like all the time. My job, between others on campus that I talk with and the people on my team, lots of smart people.
But you're one of those smart people. Do you feel that way? Because every time I talk to a Googler, they're like, everybody on my team is smart, but they never talk about, hey, you work here too.
Yeah.
Right? So I presume everybody's got their smartness in their areas and it all works.
And I think that's a natural thing. Actually, it's part of the training is like, know that you might feel this way. It's normal. You're still smart.
It's okay to feel like you know nothing.
Yes.
You're still smart.
It's not true. You are smart. Yeah, exactly. They have to make sure to explain that.
So you can go the other way. I know when I was straight out of college, I had my big, wonderful 4.0 valedictorian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm so awesome. I'm epic. Right? And after a year or two of being in industry, I realized, wow, I'm a loser. Right? And any ego I have is, it's useless because it would stop my progression as a developer, and also made other people not want to interact with me, and no one want to approach me. I couldn't learn from them, they couldn't learn from me. Don't bug Jamie, he's a jerk, right? So
right.
Fortunately got over that. But when I talk to Googlers, I get the impression that most of that's not there. Is that fair?
I would say it's very fair. I kind of feel like, even though you might feel like you're surrounded by all these brilliant people, I have not met one person at Google that's not approachable, that isn't willing to take time or whatever they're doing to talk, whatever you need to.
Is that the googliness thing?
Yeah, it's part of it.
What else makes googliness? I've heard this googliness term, and googliness to me, from the outsider's point of view, is like approachable, interactive, passionate, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What else?
Yeah. I think it's. I've heard it tried to be defined, and I'm not sure there's a great definition. I think most of what you said, being approachable is a big part of it. Being able to be a team player, it's one thing. Like Jamie said, it's one thing to know you're smart. another thing to not let it get in the way of what you do, ego-wise. But yeah,
It's really easy to fall into that trap when you become really good at one thing.
Yeah.
And then once you realize, wow, you're really good at that one thing, but then there's 10 million other things, and they all fit in this bubble of computer science.
Yeah.
So get over your little one thing.
Right.
Because you're not going to know all these things, and all of us together know all these things.
Yep.
And if we share and collaborate, we can all spread the knowledge.
I think that might be one reason it works so well at Google, because we encompass so much. Like, collectively, so much knowledge. No one of us knows a tiny portion of the collective knowledge, so we all kind of realize, oh, alone we're dumb. but together we can build some great things. You know.
Tell me some of the things you've learned while working here. I mean, it could be people skills or whatever, but like when I started my company, I didn't know any big data stuff. That's one of the reasons I switched jobs. Wanted to totally rip myself out of my element. Hey, here's big data. Dump Jamie in the middle of it and see if he sinks or swim.
Yeah.
And so my eyes have been opened. Okay. So, have you had similar experiences here? Oh, motorcycle. Okay. By the way, it's snowing in Salt Lake right now, and it's like 70 degrees, nice here. I flew out of the snow this morning and landed. Okay, anyway. So, out of your element, any of those? Tell me.
Some of that for sure. Technology-wise, I actually ended up getting kind of almost my dream job as far as the technology I've wanted to use.
Tell me about it.
We use Dart for our project. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've never heard of Dart.
Okay. It was kind of Google's JavaScript basically sucks. Let's build a language that has a lot of the feel as far as, has a lot of the elements of JavaScript, but it feels a lot more like Java, like C# with a lot of syntactic sugar that's really nice.
Did you just say C# on Google Campus? Is that okay?
I wear my C# shirt around Google Campus.
Do you?
So, yes, I should
No one hates you?
Nobody hates me.
I understand there's very little, if any, C# code.
There is, sadly.
There is?
Yeah, there's very little, but I have a few people on my team that love C#.
Okay, because you were one of my big C# students.
Oh yeah, I love C#.
And so this Dart thing looks a little like that.
Yeah, it does. Optional typing. It's
dynamic typing?
Both. So the typing, there's a lot to it. Like the type system is really interesting.
Worth learning?
Yes. So there's a lot of different components that make Dart just a great language to deal with. We can build a large-scale app and have it maintainable, and with a lot of good tooling around it, quickly. Like the project that we started was started and out in production in I think about a year. I mean, obviously it's still growing, expanding. But
so Dart's a Google-made language?
It is a Google, mostly driven by Google. Google started it. Yes, it's an open language though.
Oh, okay. I can download it and start playing with it.
It's contributed by the community. Contributed to by the community.
Sounds like another playlist I need to make on my.
Yeah.
No, maybe way down the road. Way down the road. I'm working on too much.
Yeah. So it has a lot of the kind of sugar that C# has. That makes me, in fact,
diabetic.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So diabetic. It's so great.
Oh boy.
Yeah. First functions, where it has a lot of the nice things about JavaScript too, where functions are first-class citizens, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's really easy to pass functions around.
Oh, that's one of the commuter buses. Got to get it filmed. That's the double-decker Wi-Fi Google bus, right? Okay.
I take the bus every day for about an hour, actually.
Let's put that back.
I live south San Jose.
How long's the commute?
For me, we just moved. My commute was about 20-25 minutes. Now it's an hour.
Okay.
So I drive. Well, it's 10 minutes to the bus stop and then an hour.
Are you productive on the bus?
For the most part. I mostly do I'm trying to get kind of more into the actually developing on the bus, because it's totally possible, but I just do other stuff like emails and all my other stuff besides development on the bus.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got my master's degree while riding the train, the tracks.
Yeah.
In Salt Lake, we have tracks, which is a commuter train.
Right.
I do all my homework on that train. Spend my life. I get it. So, okay. So we talked about getting here. We talked about what you're doing. We talked about what you like. So talk about somebody wants to work at Google. What would you suggest? Besides being awesome at everything.
Yes.
Which you don't have to be, but you got to be
You
awesome
don't.
at some things.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I mean, first of all, if you want to, you could probably end up getting to an interview phase. So know algorithms really well. Dig out that book when you get the interview.
Well, you should probably prep
if you
for
know,
it before the
you should
interview.
Prep, right. Oh yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, minor detail. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Just take it to the interview with you. There you go.
Yeah, that's my algorithms book.
Just 1 minute. I'll find that.
I interviewed a guy when I was at Newmont. I don't know if I can say this, but I interviewed a guy, and every question I asked me, Google everyone. I could hear him typing, and he'd just read it. Whatever popped up on the web, he'd read it back to me. I was like, dude, I can hear you Googling, and what you just said makes no sense for what I just asked you. Anyway, sorry. I want to work at Google. Give me some pointers.
If you know anybody at Google, get them to give you a reference.
Are those looked at? I presume those are given higher preference than cold.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay.
They are given higher preference, but you still can totally go and try to get an interview. It's not. It's by no means impossible to get an interview by yourself.
You get rejected. I think there's a 6 months, like apply again in 6 months kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you just can't keep applying to people.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know the amount of time, so probably.
I think it's 6 months because I've had students. Not all students get into Google. So.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the ones that didn't get into Google, they said I could apply again in 6 months.
There we go.
So.
Good to know.
But you didn't have that experience. You had the opposite experience. Hey, please come work for us.
No. Yeah, I have the opposite experience. So between those two things, and then of course things like working on making sure that you're personable. I know that's kind of an abstract concept, but Google will hire people that are jerks, I guess.
Right.
Right? I mean,
what's the term? The competent jerk. We don't want to hire the competent jerk.
Right.
Because they're poison to the whole system.
Right. I mean, that might sound funny, but that's exactly right. We want to. Everything at Google is about teams. Like if you want to make something really successful, you end up having more than one person working on it. So.
Right. Is this what happens when I get sleep?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
There was one more I wanted to. Okay. Say we had someone sitting right there, imaginary person.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be the camera.
Okay.
Let's say it's the camera.
There we go.
And this person is so Google worthy. You know, they got the Google personality, they've got the intellect, the drive, the passion, all those things. And your job is to convince them to come work at Google. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them?
Well, first of all, I feel like there's a stigma as far as like, why even apply at Google? It's so hard to get in. Well, I feel like that might actually be what limits a lot of people from trying and ending up at Google. So, first, apply. You're not going to have any chance if you don't first try to apply.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
There we go.
There you go. Keep going.
Exactly.
I think that's what Greg Ski. I saw that on the internet somewhere. Somebody said it a long time ago, and somebody quoted. Anyway, keep going. What else?
Make sure you have a good foundation with the fundamentals of software development, especially algorithms. I mean, there's a lot of discussion of whether that's the best way, for Google to find the right people, but I think you have to choose something.
Right.
And I think is a good way to show that you want the job, because whether you're doing web development or really intense low-level algorithms are super important development. Showing that you know that you have a really good understanding of algorithms shows that you want the job, no matter what kind of development you're going for.
Okay.
Plus,
Anything else?
You'll pass the interview.
Minor detail.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Life here's great. Weather is amazing, pretty much all the time.
The problems are awesome. The people are awesome. Mm-hmm. The weather's awesome.
Yep.
And the perks are cool.
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully in most of that order.
Yeah.
Right. Instead,
yeah.
I want to work at Google because I have free food. Okay.
Yeah. Great perk. Probably not the reason you should come work.
No. I should probably find a place where the perk is a gym.
Hey, they have that too.
But you know which one I'd be going to if I worked. At Data Stacks, if you work on site, I work at home. Yeah. But Data Stacks, they have the whole full kitchen and they feed you lunch and da-da. And I was like, man, it's a good thing that I don't work on site, right? Because.
Yep.
Okay.
I know how that goes.
Hey, that was awesome.